self-esteem is basically how we feel about ourselves, our opinion of ourselves. And sometimes we might feel like I have the best self-esteem in the world. I my self-esteem is on an all-time high. Other times we might begin to question ourselves. But this video is not to attack us or attack our person or make us feel bad about ourselves. It's an opportunity for us to figure things out together and look at how we can better understand ourselves and improve on our self-worth. Having a healthy self-esteem simply means that you respect yourself, you know how to set healthy boundaries, and you appreciate the abilities that you have. Um, it's basically appreciating who your person is. You understand your strength, you are aware of your weaknesses, you've come to own them. You don't feel less of yourself because of them. That's basically what having a healthy self-esteem means. And when you have a low self-esteem, you might be the opposite of that. You let everybody in, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, you most times always question your abilities and all of that. And like I said earlier, we do not always have it all together. Different things can shape our self-esteem. It can affect how good our self-esteem is or how bad our self-esteem is. For example, if you are someone that you've always been privileged to be surrounded by people who always praise you, praise your effort, praise your beauty, praise your skills, most times your self-esteem will be good because you grew up around positivity. But if you are someone that probably you had a negative experience. Say, for example, you want to be a beauty queen or a model, and the very first time you had an opportunity to walk in front of millions of people or thousands of people, you fell flat on your face. Sometimes that can be a negative experience that can have a terrible effect on your self-esteem. And for some people, that would be the last time they ever walk on a stage. They will start feeling like I wasn't made for the stage, I wasn't made for this. And that's a negative experience. And that negative experience has, shaped their self-esteem in a negative way. Sometimes it could also be social media. Oh my God, social media has a lot of influence in people's self-esteem. Nowadays, we see lots of people that are not comfortable in their bodies because social media has told them we have to be figure eight, we have to be figured stick, figured one, and then the next thing they look at themselves, oh, I'm not figure eight. I need to gather money for BBL, and then 10 years time, social media is confused. The next in thing is to be figure one, and then oh, I have to do another surgery, remove excess fat, do some liposuction, blah 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 blah. The social media is confused, and if you allow it affect your self-esteem, then you will also be a confused person. you know and it could also be you might have a good sense of self, is good self-worth. You're doing well in your own world, and you get to you're going on Instagram, you're feeling good today, getting motivated, and then all of a sudden you come across posts that makes you start doubting yourself, start doubting your achievement. You begin to compare yourselves with others. That can do a terrible thing on our self-esteem. And it's always important to remember that the social media is not the real world. People only post what they want you to see. Another thing that affects our self-esteem is who we grew up around, our family and friends, and that can also be somehow linked to our past experiences. If you grew up around family and friends that don't really value you, people that always talk negatively about you, talk negatively to you. There's some people that they get told that they can never amount to anything, that they are nothing, they are useless. Before you know it, that becomes the voice that you hear, the voice that you can never amount to nothing. But the good news is that we can always come out from that cycle of negative self-worth, we can always build a better sense of self, and that's the reason why we are talking about this topic today, so that we can think about the things that might have affected us, and how we can come out from that pit, that has damaged our self-esteem or sense of self-worth so much, and become a better person from that self-reflection. Okay, so, what are some things that can also help us develop a better sense of self? Oh, I love this first point, and it is be kind to yourself in your thoughts and in your actions. A lot of times we are taught to be kind to others, but let's learn kindness by beginning with ourselves. When your thought is not kind to you, then correct it. This is not just talking to people. As I talk to you, I'm also talking to myself. So let's be kind to ourselves. Let's shut down every negative thought that doesn't speak kindness, that doesn't speak value to us, and let's replace it with positive thoughts, right? There's also a need to set healthy boundaries for yourself, okay? If you are constantly surrounded by people that put you down, please get yourself out of that circle and surround yourself with people that praise you, people that appreciate you, people that appreciate that value your person, that value your skills. Even scripture says a prophet is not appreciated in his hometown. When Jesus went to his hometown and they didn't appreciate him, he couldn't perform miracles. He left there. So when you're in the midst, know when to leave the table. When your value is not being seen, leave that table and go to where your praises are sung, right? Um then we should always understand that we cannot always achieve perfection, and perfection is actually a process that comes with doing. And as I say this point, it really speaks to me a lot, because a lot of times I can be a perfectionist, and I'm learning to understand that perfection comes in the process. So this is me telling you to always remember that perfection is in the process. Another thing you can do is always know when to say no. That's also related to you setting healthy boundaries. Always know when to say no. Always know when to speak up for yourself. Then the last point, as regards the things that you can do to help your self-esteem, please celebrate your strengths. Be your biggest cheerleader. Celebrate your strengths. They can also be aware of your weaknesses and work on it. That's why I tell myself, like, you cannot tell me what I don't know about myself already. So appreciate your strengths, be aware of your weaknesses, work on getting better, not because of what people are saying, but because you are on a journey to becoming a better person, right? Now, speaking to people that are surrounded by young people, aunties, uncles, moms, dads, and everything. So, as an adult, how can we help the young people around us have a good sense of self? The important thing, like I said earlier, is speak to them positively, encourage them, use good words around them. Tell them you are proud of them. Let them know the things you like about them. It's not just every time criticism, criticism. When they do something good, praise them for it, encourage them, listen to them, hear them out, and stop passing judgment. Stop expecting them to suddenly be an adult. Always remember that they are still young and they have a long way to go. They are still growing. Always remind yourself. Another thing we can do for them is setting an example. We can, if we don't have a good sense of self, how can we, build up children that would have a good sense of self? So it's a call to also change. It's a call to also become better people, so that when they see us, they can, they can so that when they see us, they can decide to follow the path we are already treading, or mirror our actions. Okay. Then another thing too that we can do that can help young people is give space for mistakes. They are not perfect people, just like that. Just like I said, they are growing. We should always make them understand that mistakes are part of life, and we learn by failing, sometimes. At the end of the day, the truth is we are all a work in progress, and self-esteem is not about having it all together at every point in time, but rather that we are working on being better versions of ourselves all the time. So if there's one thing you love about yourself that you would like to share, kindly put it in the comments down below. I would love to read it. Thank you for watching this video today. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this video and it spoke to you, please subscribe. And don't forget to share this video and click the like button. Thank you for listening to me today, for watching this video today. See you in my next video. Keep working on being better. Bye.